what was the decision of the court? That is our second problem, where you look at when you look at the decisions of the court, you realize how problematic the judgment was. In legal terms, like Maharaj was the case went in favor of Maharaj on 3 minor counts. Okay? But it was more in favor of Karsandas Mulje because they said he had the freedom of speech, the thing that we are still arguing about. That he had the freedom of speech to write whatever he wanted. So it went in his favor. But he said something else here, okay? They not praised Karsandas Mulje as a righteous reformer, but he also questioned Lord Krishna. And he said that all the devotional sects associated with this kind of devotional worship are a propagation of carnal sensualism, of strange transcendental lewdness. That's what the judge said. Like, this is Judge Arnold's statement. This is strange transcendental lewdness. And I want to read something. He says, and he's comparing the allegations that Karsandas Mulje placed upon Maharaj with the gods he worshipped. He's like, okay, your Maharaj, what kind of god does Maharaj worship? And he's like, he worships a god who is also embedded in this kind of divine Ras Leela, which is nothing but carnal intercourse with females, dining and playing with them, is one of the principal offices of Krishna. The nectarine pleasure of Sri Gokul is better than 1,000 other expedients. If copulation does not take place with Krishna, the existence of the paramour of man is worse than that of a war. So he's comparing Rasa Leela with carnal desires. He's questioning the character of Krishna. And there are so many statements like that. So many statements. Now, does the film have these statements? No. What the film have instead done is they have taken this case, which was a lopsided trial. In fact, as I have shown, the Maharaj was fighting against the system. You have Karsandas Mulje, who is supported by the British system, who is also prejudiced against the devotional sampradayas. You take that. What you do next? You turn Karsandas Mulje into a devout Vaishnav. Like, he is a very, very pure Vaishnav. And then you turn Maharaj into almost cartoonish villain. Okay, if you look at how he's played, he's almost cartoonish. So you turn him into a villain who is saying that, yes, we have freedom to interpret the mantras of our initiation, mantras of our tradition the way we want. So he's accepting. So you're twisting the facts of the case. And what is the result? So you are alienating the sampradayas from Vaishnavites, and you're doing it in the name of history. Right? So if you want to falsify these facts, I think you do not have the right to use real historical names, because you cannot go against what they said in court. You can dramatize it, but you cannot state the opposite of what they have said. It's falsification. So if you want to do that, you want to come up with an imaginary case where Maharaj is the villain and he's fighting against an honest journalist. We should not use real life names. See, this is a historical fiction. This is not a history lesson. I mean, it's not even facts leading up to the case, because they have shown so many instances of sexual intercourse throughout the film. And I think it's just an excuse to show these scenes, because that often happens with films like this. But whatever those are, like, you have no evidence. If you are basing those scenes from the book, even the book is not grounded in any facts. So how do you know that in 1860s, the Maharaj engaged in these gross iniquities when he vehemently denied it, and then you have no proof? So I'm of the opinion, in fact, that if you have proof against one person, it's a different story. But without a proof, if you're tarnishing the image of a man who is revered by so many people, and then you're going ahead and tarnishing the image of the sampradaya. Why are you tarnishing the image of the sampradayas? Because there is a scene, I think at around 1 hour 57 minutes, in which Karsandas says that this has been going on for centuries. Not century, centuries, right? So at least 2 centuries. So now this case is was in the 1860s. There's 200 years, at least 200 years before that, based on his statement. So you are saying for close to 300 to 400 years, this sampradaya engaged in the acts of gross iniquities. And then you say this as not, it is not against the sampradaya. We are just against these kinds of acts. Then be against these kind of acts. Why are you using the name of the sampradayas? Why are you saying that this happened for close to 400 years in the sampradayas without any proof? Why are you changing the narrative? Why is there a character assassination of the Maharaj in the film? I have problems with these kind of, it kind of propagates the missionary agenda. That is my problem. On one hand, it's character assassination. On the other hand, it propagates the missionary agenda. It kind of veils the truth, right? Because the missionary people, the way they wrote articles on this case and this trial, and how they praised Karsandas Mulje, was because they wanted the devotional sampradayas to die down. Because now, who worships Nirakara Brahman? The dominant Hindu sampradaya are based on these kinds of bhakti sampradayas, right? And you wanted them to collapse and go to completely destroy them. And so they changed the narrative of the case. In free India, why are we propagating the same narrative? Why are we not showing the truth of these kinds of trials? That it wasn't fair, and it is not fair to show the same thing today. It is high time we actually look at what Bhakti Sampradayas did for this country. In fact, I want this question to be seen in the context of the reformers. We always praise the reformers for bringing about these social changes. But if you look in a perspective, it was the Bhakti Sampradayas that brought about these changes. Because nobody actually listened to the reformers. They listened to their gurus, and they were the people who brought in their changes. You look at the history of this sampradayas. Look at Ramanuja Sampradaya. It is Ramanujacharya who went on the rooftop of the temple and yelled the mantra for salvation for everyone, when everyone was saying around him that this is the mantra for only Brahmins. Then you have Vallabhacharya. Look at the devotees we have. We have Taj Bibi. We have Rasa Khan. We have a lady who was a prostitute by profession. And they are all, whether you see these stories as truth or hagiographies is your perspective. But we see these people as devotees, and we place them on the same rank as other devotees who may be a Brahmana or from within the tradition. So we have no difference, right? This is the radicalism of these traditions. They brought God to common people. There was a time, we do not realize this, right? Because right now we don't have a Vedic system. We live in an urbanized culture. So we are like, okay, what's the big deal about it? But look at the society they changed. They actually allowed God to be brought in. I'm talking about a sacramented God, right? Sacramented idol. You cannot touch a sacramented idol. But they actually brought, especially Vallabhacharya tradition, the most unique thing about this tradition is that they brought sacramented idol into the homes of the devotees, which broke the barriers of, like, the bhakti truly breaks the barriers, the social barriers that the reformers are talking about. And we do not give these sampradayas enough credit for that. You're tarnishing the image of the sampradayas. So, and when Mulji in the movie asks, what is exactly he actually asks this question, why do you need Maharaj between you and the God? what they are trying to present is that these sampradayas or bhakti sampradayas in general, when they have Maharaj or people, gurus in place, they're actually barrier and they are corrupt, and we are all seeing them generalized sense of corruption, how Bollywood has been portraying priests since the very inception. Nothing has changed. But in reality, what was the role of the guru? It was to show them a direction, right? That was the role a guru played. They were not barriers or obstructions between God and the devotees. They were taking the devotees to the God. If they were barriers, I think Vallabhacharya would never have allowed the gods to enter into the homes of the devotees, right? But he does. So that kind of radicalism often gets overlooked. And I think in free India, it's a sad day that we are actually propagating these missionary agenda again. And we are overlooking the deep cuts that it has given this country.